Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalang.
Hare Krishna. Welcome to our channel, Bhagavad-gita. Here it is. Because we have Bhagavad-gita. Bhagavad-gita as it is, translation and commentary by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And my name is Labangalatika. We have just entered into the 11th chapter, the universal form, and we started last time by hearing Arjuna's request. He appreciates very much what he have learned, and now he wants to actually see the form of Krishna that has entered into the cosmic manifestation. And I will continue with text 4. Manyase yaditat chakyang maya drashtumiti prabho yogeshvara tato me tvang darshayatmanam avyayam. If you think that I am able to behold your cosmic form, O my Lord, O Master of all mystic power, then kindly show me that unlimited universal self. Purport. It is said that one can neither see, hear, understand, nor perceive the Supreme Lord Krishna by the material senses, but if one is engaged in loving transcendental service to the Lord from the beginning, then one can see the Lord by revelation. Every living entity is only a spiritual spark, therefore it is not possible to see or to understand that Supreme Lord. Arjuna as a devotee does not depend on his speculative strength, rather he admits his limitation as a living entity and acknowledges Krishna's inestimable position. Arjuna could understand that for a living entity it is not possible to understand the unlimited infinite. If the infinite reveals himself, then it is possible to understand the nature of the infinite by the grace of the infinite. The word Yogeshvara is also very significant here because the Lord has inconceivable power. If he likes, he can reveal himself by his grace, although he is unlimited. Therefore, Arjuna pleads for the inconceivable grace of Krishna. He does not give Krishna orders. Krishna is not obliged to reveal himself unless one surrenders fully in Krishna consciousness and engages in devotional service. Thus, it is not possible for persons who depend on the strength of their mental speculation to see Krishna. Yogeshvara, master of all mystic powers. So, when we study the world or when we perceive the world, we will see one layer, but there are so many layers beneath it, and we try to figure things out, how they work, why is it like it is, and we can't get all the way with our own mental powers, with our own intelligence, with our own ability to do the research or do the studies or do the understanding, because this world is a very confusing place. And the Lord, as we were hearing before, of course, He is that cause of all causes, that which lies behind everything, beyond everything also, of course. And He's the cause of all causes, the beginning of everything, the end of everything. So like anything, like we take a bread. If we take a bread and we go into the bread and we study the bread, maybe we can ascertain what it is made of. But if we don't understand the baking process, we won't be able to reproduce another bread. And a bread is an everyday object in this world. But this whole world, it has come about by Krishna's energies, by Krishna's instructions, by Krishna's presence in the form of Super Soul. It is all there. And then we try to, there is some verse, I don't remember who it is, but even if we can count the stars in the sky or roll the whole universe together like our bedroll and pick it up, we won't be able to understand that Supreme who lies beyond it, behind it, whom it has all come from. So Krishna is the master of all mystic powers. We speak about mystic powers in the Vedic sense because performing certain processes of yoga, we can develop these mystic perfections that are absolutely unconceivable to the modern man. Someone can become smaller than the smallest and enter into the particles of creation, one can become lighter than the lightest. So we hear of levitation, and some yoga schools, they can levitate like a few centimeters off the ground. Yogi can do a lot more than that. The yogi can step into the river Ganges and then step out of it in any place, even out away from this planet. So that's those are yogic mystic powers that can be achieved by following a certain process. But Krishna has the ultimate yogic power of being the energy beyond all of that. So we cannot understand him, but at the same time we can understand him, because that is another how to say, argument for atheism, or not even atheism has the argument that we can never prove God's existence and we don't believe he's there, so therefore he's not there. But you have the agnostics who will say, yeah, if there is a God, if there is no God, nobody can tell. But actually God can tell. And God can show us and reveal to us. So that is Arjuna's position. He's saying, if you think I can see this, if you think I am able to behold your form, then you please show me. So he's not saying, that's also another atheistic position sometimes. Well, if there is a God, well, show him to me. Or sometimes like, well, if God is there, then he will strike you with lightning, and he doesn't strike you with lightning, and he doesn't appear, because nobody is like that. Even me, if my children would go out and said, our mother, she's at home, and then they would say, I don't believe in her, show her to me, and I'm still going to be at home going about my own business. I'm not going to run there to show myself to some silly children who doesn't believe my children as a mother. Or if you come to a country and they have a prime minister or something, and you're saying, I don't believe in this prime minister. You have to prove it to me by bringing him before me right now. No. Prime Minister is not going to come before you right now, and neither is God, because God is beyond this whole creation. He has set it into motion, he has started it off, he's still here holding it up in the form of Super Soul, who is in everyone's heart and in every atom. And the Vedas are describing his presence, his powers, his potencies, and we can understand. The last chapter here, Krishna says, I am time. Nobody can stop time. We cannot grasp time like that. Maybe we can stop a train by pressing the brake or by placing some obstacle in front of it, because we can touch a train. It's very difficult to stop a train, really. But time? Nobody can stop time. So time is a show of the Lord's powers, his presence, the energy of time, driving existence from one step to the next. No matter what we try to do. Death is there. We cannot stop death. We may think that because of our modern inventions we have prolonged our lives, but the Vedas speak about previous ages where the lifespan was 10 times our lifespan. We cannot recreate that because we have what we have, and it doesn't matter even how long we live, how much health we have, how many diseases we overcome. Life ends with death. There is no changing that fact. But Krishna is a person. Krishna, we don't have this, I don't think it's a popular idea anymore, but it was at the point where the universe was seen as the creation of God, but that God was so removed, like a watchmaker. He could put the watch into motion, but he can't really enter into it, which really isn't true, because if you make a watch, you can also take it apart and move your cogs around and reassemble them and make it work again. So even that example is a little silly. But God is not our description of God. God is not our idea about God. Even with another person, sometimes it happens in a romantic relationship. You watch another person and you become attracted to them, and you start to have some kind of interaction going, and in your mind you have created this person who may not actually be that person for real. You may think, oh, this means this means that, and then suddenly something happens and it shocks you, because your imaginary friend didn't manifest, but actually that real person was totally different than what you had imagined. So with God also, we can build up an idea of God, a conception of God, but that doesn't change Krishna. So in Bhagavad-gita we get to know Krishna. Of course, in this chapter we will see the universal form, which is a very special aspect of Krishna, which isn't really Krishna's personal form, but how he manifests in this universe, and in a rather shocking capacity, which we heard in the first purport here, that this is like this creates fear in the heart, but then at the same time Krishna will go back to his real form after this little show. But here what happens is Arjuna turns to Krishna with that attitude of loving surrender. If you think I'm able to see this form, then you can be kind and show it to me. Or actually, of course, built into that statement is, if you don't think I can see it, and if you're not willing to show it, I will accept that too, because it is your form, it is your free will, what you give me, what you don't give me. So that is a loving relationship between a devotee and God. We like to turn to Krishna. We don't really expect very much, but at the same time we can see just day by day we continue to live and exist, all held up by Krishna's energies, directly and indirectly. And we get to hear more of him and get to know him better. We don't have a need or a requirement for Krishna to do for us what we want him to do, because actually we want to get to know Krishna, who is beyond what we could even imagine. So whatever we get from Krishna is actually more than we could have reached out to make as a demand. So there is no loss in that attitude of a devotee. I think I will read text 5 as well. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Pashyame Partarupani Satashodha Sahasrasaha Nana Vidhani Divyani Nana Varna Kritini Cha. The Supreme Personality of God had said, "My dear Arjuna, O son of Pritha, see now my opulences, hundreds of thousands of varied, divine and multicolored forms." Purport. Arjuna wanted to see Krishna in his universal form, which, although a transcendental form, is just manifested for the cosmic manifestation, is therefore subject to the temporary time of this material nature. As the material nature is manifested and not manifested, similarly, this universal form of Krishna is manifested and non-manifested. It is not eternally situated in the spiritual sky like Krishna's other forms. As far as a devotee is concerned, he is not eager to see the universal form, but because Arjuna wanted to see Krishna in this way, Krishna reveals this form. This universal form is not possible to be seen by any ordinary man. Krishna must give one the power to see it. So it's a special chapter. It is aimed at those of us who are in this material world and who may need a little stronger foundation for our faith to grow. So yes, there is a whole chapter. It's a quite long chapter. So we will see what Krishna has in store. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for watching. We aim for updates every Tuesday and Friday. Please come back. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down there. We also have some links and information for you. And there is, of course, the subscribe button. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
I'm a Hare Krishna, and I approve this message. Subscribe.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.